So welcome back to the channel everyone, and in today's video I want to share with you my experience of the 8-25 f4 Pro lens from OM System, or if you have an older version of Olympus. I've been using this thing for a little over a year right now, and this has completely changed my workflow. So let's dive into the video and let me tell you all about this lens. So the 8-25 f4 is a perfect pro lens. And at first when I got this lens, I was a little bit skeptical. You know, I had these two beasts of lenses, two Pro Series lenses, both internal zooms, the 12-40 f2.8 and the 7-14 f2.8. Both Pro Series weather sealed lenses, amazing sharpness and image quality. They both have the manual focus clutch on them, and I basically had nothing to complain about these two lenses, except for the 7-14 that is really sensitive to flare and you can't stick any filters on it. There's a lot of distortion in this lens, so if you angle it a little bit, put things a little bit on the side, of course with any wide angle you get distortion, but it's quite heavy with this lens. But the main disadvantage of this is I always walked around with my 12-40, and when I walked around I was always asking myself, is this image worth switching lenses for? Is it worth going to the ultra wide angle 7-14? And because I didn't have it on the camera, in 95% of the cases I just looked at the scene and I was like, nah, no, that's not it, you know, not worth the effort. But in the end, I can honestly say that I only took a few really good images with this 7-14 lens. And it's a €1,300 lens, you know, I've paid full price for this lens when I bought it. And there are only two images, one of them in fact is maybe my all-time favorite image, so that I have to say that, I have to give it to this lens. But the main disadvantage is I always had to carry two lenses with me. So two lenses together are about a kilogram. Then I got the opportunity to test this 8-25 f4, and this is actually a combination of these two lenses. You know, you got the wide angle, the 8mm, of course 7 would be better, but in fact I haven't come across a scene where I needed that extra millimeter until now. And I think it's a really pleasant lens. And the biggest advantage is weight. You know, this thing is about the same weight as the 12-40. So it saves me about 540 grams because I don't have to take the ultra wide angle because it's already on the camera. The funny thing is that since I've been using this lens, I have been shooting more and more wide angle shots over the past year. More and more images where I used this lens, where I went underneath the 12mm of this lens. And the main advantage is because it's on the camera, it's much easier to just walk around, aim the camera somewhere in a bush or over a couple of rocks, see how the image looks. And that is the most difficult thing about wide angle photography, because it needs a bit of imagination. What is the image going to look like? Because we don't see the image with our own eyes the way the lens sees it. And that's very different to, for example, a telephoto where the image is quite flat. You just compress the scene very heavily, but it's the same spot that you're looking at. With a wide angle, you can really distort or enhance that foreground of your image. That is difficult to imagine if you don't have much experience with it. And over the past year, I have built so much confidence that I'm now willing to use this lens almost all the time. You know, I did the whole trip to Madeira with this lens, one lens, and absolutely amazing. Yeah, I have to admit, I also used the 50-200 a couple of times, but in 90-95% of the cases I used this wide angle lens, and I started to see more possibilities and more opportunities, and it is fantastic. It saves a lot of weight and money because you only have to buy one lens. And This thing is completely weather sealed, and when I say completely weather sealed, I definitely mean completely weather sealed. You know, we've walked in Madeira with terrible wind, extreme heavy rain showers. We even walked underneath waterfalls. This thing was completely soaked, and it didn't even, I didn't notice any problem with this or the body, the OM1 Mark II that I use, where it's connected to. So weather sealing is fantastic, even though that this is a lens that comes out of its body. So it's no internal zoom, it's an external zoom, but it had no problem at all with the weather sealing. Another advantage, this one does fit filters. It's a 72mm filter. You have to be a bit careful, because if you have large filters with high corners around it, you can't see the filter. So maybe the best thing you can do is get a little bit of a wider filter so that you can't see the edges of the filter if you're shooting at 8mm, the ultra wide angle side. But that is a really good advantage, even though I don't really use much filters on my OM system camera. But in autumn, a polarizer is always very handy. I know you got live ND, but sometimes you need a little bit more, so you can stick an ND filter on it and use live ND to get the results you want. This one also has the LF button, so you can program any kind of function to it that you want. It has the manual focus clutch, so this lens is just, yeah, absolutely amazing. But what surprised me the most is image quality. You know, the image quality of this lens is absolutely amazing. You know, I dare to say that it's not even a fraction less than these two lenses. You know, it is a fantastic lens image quality wise. With any wide angle, you have to be careful with shooting handheld images. You know, I fall for that trick on Madeira, thinking I could shoot a 1 second image out of hand on 8mm. That is crazy difficult. So if you're shooting really wide angles and you have the opportunity, please use the tripod. What is going on? This lens is not stabilized, so you're working with IBIS. As Chris explained to me, because I did not know this, when I look at an image and I zoom in to the center of the image to see if it's in focus, I always look at the center of the image and I'm like, oh, this is okay. And then I got back home and I looked at the images and I was like, oh, these corners are completely blurry. What's going on here? But what Chris explained to me, that if you, for example, balance a plate on your finger, the center of the plate does not move that much. You know, it's almost always in the same spot, but it's the edges of the plate that go up and down much and much more. So that's why the corners of a wide angle lens are much more affected to motion blur than the center of the image. So if you want to check a wide angle shot, always zoom into its edges to see if the image is in focus. You know, it fooled me a couple of times, like you can see on this image here of this waterfall. You know, the top section, honestly, it's pretty much unusable. So that's why I cropped this image a little bit. If I would have taken a tripod, it wouldn't have been an issue at all. So yeah, with these ultra wide angles, the tripod is, yeah, a very handy feature if you're shooting on the wide angle side. You know, if you zoom in a little bit to, for example, above 12mm, it's not an issue at all. You know, it's not an issue at all on the corner sharpness. But if you use a tripod, even at 8mm or even handheld, for example, I laid it on some rocks on the beach. If you look at the detail in the rocks and the sharpness in those corners, it is absolutely fantastic if you use it in the right way. So I definitely didn't on a couple of images, but once I noticed that, I just started to lay the camera on the ground, you know, the lens almost hitting the rocks in some points, and it did a fantastic job. And due to the Micro Four Thirds system, the depth of field of this lens is absolute crazy. You know, I took a couple of images that were that the camera was laying on the rocks, and so you get the rocks immediately here in the foreground, and they get a couple of C-stacks that are like 100 to 300 meters away. And still the whole image is in focus with one shot at f8. That is absolutely insane and impossible with a full frame camera, for example. So what I did in a couple of these occasions, I just shot a high-res image. You know, I got a really large megapixel file, 50 megapixel, sometimes even 80 megapixel files of these absolute crazy scenes. So yeah, I didn't discover a single thing about this lens that I did not like over the past year. The only little negative that I have is when I started using the 50 to 200, that the gap from 25 to 50 is a little bit bigger than when I still use the 40 to 150 2.8. You know, I still have the 40 to 150. You see, I will never get rid of this lens. You know, it's such a crazy good lens, but yeah, it has been replaced. You know, I now use these two lenses on like 85% of my images, and you know, that is so much less weight than what I used to carry. Little teleconverter with me, and I have an insane amount of reach with only two lenses, from ultra wide up to, if I use a 2x converter on this, it's up to 800 millimeters full frame equivalent, which is absolute crazy. So, and that's with two lenses only. And what I noticed is that little gap from 25 to 50, that's quite significant. I took a lot of images with my 12 to 40 in that area, you know, in between that 25 and 40. But what I noticed is that little gap from 25 to 40 is something you can overcome by stepping back a little bit or moving a little bit towards your subject. Of course, the composition will change a little bit. You can also move back a little bit and use the telephoto on 50 millimeters. You know, there's a couple of opportunities to overcome that gap, but the weight loss and the less size of kit that I can carry around is absolutely worth it for me. Yeah, I think it's a crazy good lens. Yeah, for the amount of money. I think this retails for a little over €1,000 here in Europe. And yeah, it's not that I'm saying this because I'm an ambassador. I've used this excessively for over a year, and you can see it's pretty worn down. I actually took a nasty fall on Madeira with this lens. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it was the lens from Chris. Could also be the possibility. So, but there's some scratches and ditches, but the thing never fails to work on me. So yeah, fantastic piece of equipment. And if you're looking at a wide angle lens for a Micro Four Thirds or home system camera, I personally would never recommend the 7 to 14, except for example if you're shooting stars or nightscapes or Milky Ways, auroras, then the 2.8 on the 7 to 14 is a fantastic feature. This one is a f4 lens, and people are always a bit scared of f4 lenses because the quality isn't good enough, but the quality of the glass is fantastic. It is just the amount of light that goes through this lens is less than with a 2.8. But in landscapes, we want almost all the time as much of the image in focus as we can see with the eye. So we rarely shoot below f4. It's always like f6.4 or f8, and that's more than enough, like I said earlier, to get the whole image in focus. And another crazy feature about this thing was the short focus distance. So let me have a look on the lens. I think it's on here somewhere. But I think the shortest focal distance of this thing is like 20 centimeters or something like that, 21 centimeters. And if you zoom it in to like 25, just look at this image of the fly. I was absolutely stunned when I took this shot, and it definitely opened a whole new range of possibilities that I never even considered before. It was just part of the assignment to shoot a macro wide angle shot, and I was like, are you crazy? You can't do that with a wide angle. It's a wide angle. It's not a macro. But then you start trying it, and I was like, what? So the close focus distance is crazy good on this 8-25. So yeah, it has everything I would want from a wide angle lens. And as much as I loved to use these two for years, I'm pretty convinced that they will never end up in my bag again, because this thing can do everything that these two can in only one single lens. And that saves me a lot of weight, you know, and let's be honest, I'm not getting any younger, so less weight is more fun. So yeah, and I've really noticed that on Madeira, with only bringing two lenses and a camera body, you know, I could walk and hike around everywhere without feeling my knees or shoulders or whatever. So this is for me the perfect travel kit at the moment. You know, you never know if there's going to be something different. I would have never thought that I needed a different lens than the 40-150 2.8. That was until this thing came along. And it's just the little extra focal range that made it worth it for me, because now I only have to bring two lenses on a lot of occasions. So yeah, that's my experience that I wanted to share with you with this 8-25. There are a lot of videos at the moment, so if you just look back of the videos over the past year, you will see that almost every video, the images are shot with this 8-25 on the wide angle side. And it is absolutely crazy. So yeah, if you're looking for a wide angle lens for a OM system / Olympus camera, this is not a sponsored video. It's my own equipment that's standing here. Of course, I get a little discount as an ambassador, but they didn't ask me to make this video. This is my personal experience and my personal recommendation. And everyone always asks me, what lens would you recommend for landscape photography? Not the 714, not the 1240 anymore. It's this one, the 8-25 f4. It's an absolute beast of a lens. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, if you ever want to purchase this and have your doubts, you just want to have a little chat, send me a message through my website or through like Instagram Messenger, Facebook Messenger, that stuff, and I'll be happy to reply to you with my recommendations. It comes with a lens hood, by the way, so you don't have to buy it, but I just used it without lens hood on Madeira. But yeah, I think it's worth it. So if you're looking for a wide angle, once again, 8-25, definitely worth it. So I hope you enjoyed this video on my review of this 8-25. And yeah, I hope to see you on the next video. So if you enjoyed it, don't forget, please push the thumbs up button. If you want to see more OM system stuff, mostly on location videos, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. New videos every Thursday and Sunday. And hopefully, yeah, you are going to enjoy them. So hope to see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.